Hello everyone. Here I will show you how to create a simple push data on a page-to-public key output using sCrypt. To do that, you just need to create a project. You can give it the name you want, and you can use this file here containing the code that you can just find on my GitHub in this miscellaneous repository in this folder push data. And so that it can work, you need to follow the instructions here to substitute some files for these hacked files that I did some modification here so that the project can work properly. Okay, that said, we can just explore the code. If we will use an existing script, we can just set this flag true. Otherwise, we set this flag false to create a very new script with the push data on it, with the data pushed on it. And we will use this 1,000 satoshis locked in the script we are creating. If the flag is false, these variables will be ignored here in the code, and here you put your private key from the address that you control, that you have the funds to make the transaction. Here it's my private key that I use just to make videos. I know anybody can use it, but it's better for you to use your own private key. So let's come here, some basic things here that we use to read the blockchain. These parts are ignored here in this version, but now we use this to read the UTXOs that are still unspent from your address that will be used to make this script. And here you get the address from your private key, but you can use any address you want here in this variable, because you may want to make the script for a different address. So you indicate the address here, and here you put your data, in this case a text data file. You can use another type of data, but here we are using just text and making it a string of hexadecimal code. And we just use here the script with this opcodes that will create the page-to-public key hash. And here in this part we just push the data, and it will be pushed into the script. Here we say opdrop, so that it will just reject the last opcode, and will ignore the data, and the data will have no effect in the script in itself. We could use also op return, but I choose to use opdrop here in this script. And now we can come here, and if we are using a previous script, we will use the satoshi of that script in the new transaction. If not, it will be ignored here, and it will form our outputs. Here the output with our script with data pushed, and the satoshis if it's from a different transaction, a previous transaction. But in this case we are using this version here, where we pushed the new script for the first time, and we say the satoshis we are locking here on this script. Here we must deduce the number of satoshis of the new created script from the total satoshis that are available for that address. In this part here, we build the transaction from this part of the code until here, and in this section I calculate the fee that will be paid for the miners, and here I repeat all the previous procedures, and now I can build the transaction with the fee, and after that you can just get the transaction. Here in this section I put the signature, and we have the raw transaction, and we can just broadcast the transaction. So let's make this test here. I will just put some different data here to build this new script, and I'll save the file, and let's build this transaction and broadcast it. So it went to the blockchain. Here's our TX ID of our transaction. Now we can just come here at the Watson chain and check for the transaction. It's already on the chain, and here is our script with the data we pushed on it, and I can just check the script. Here's the data, but you cannot find the script in your address because the script hash that of that script is not the same as the script hash of your page public key script hash, but you can find the script if you search for the script hash of this new script. So actually in this case we could find the transaction here because the transaction was broadcasted using the input that came from this address. But if you had sent this output to another address, it would not appear here because of the script hash. But you can just track it by its script hash. Now we can use this script just produced, and we can use it to create a new script. And now I'll set this flag true, and it will ignore this Satoshi here. You can put any number you want, but now it will use the script of this transaction in this index output. So let's save it and run the code. Now here we have our new script, our new transaction, and we can just explore it here at Watson chain. Let's come, and now we have it here, the old script and the new script. This script was consumed, the satoshis of this script was consumed to build this new script. So this is the way it works. You can also melt this script and put the Satoshi all inside the address you want, but this code here is not ready to do that, but you can easily do. Just follow the there's no instruction, but you can easily do that. Just modify the code and do it by yourself. Now I will let you here. May God bless you. See you next time.